I do believe absolutely that we need to make sure we motivate our core voters to show up, give them something to be excited about, give them a reason to vote, to feel like their vote's going to matter and their vote will actually make change happen.
So you were very vocal about your support of Elizabeth Warren,
Yeah.
candidate I also voted for in the primary. When you look at her campaign and everything that happened, what is your assessment of why do you think she did not become the front runner or the eventual Democratic nominee?
I think the overriding feeling I got was people wanted to feel comfortable and safe with their pick, and they wanted to feel like they could beat Trump. And they figured, um, I think a lot of people figured that picking a woman would be a challenge and going against Trump. I think a lot of people figure picking a very progressive candidate would be a challenge and going against Trump. And they kind of fled to safety and comfort and the person they knew better. And we saw a lot of that in the Black community because Biden got a huge portion of the Black vote. And I don't begrudge Black folks for being conservative with a small c, in the sense of saying, um, we know this person, we know white people in this country, and we're afraid that anything too risky they won't vote for. So let's go with something that feels a little safer, and we need to beat Trump, and we can't risk it with a more risky choice.
So the irony of you saying that, which is all true, by the way, is that I think a
Mhm.
lot of people were afraid to take a risk because they were projecting and thinking about, okay, who really can beat Trump?
Yeah, and they're projecting what other people might vote
And they're
for.
projecting what other people might vote for. Because I do think a lot of Black people did it with the intention. It's not that we're so overly loyal to the Democratic Party or even to Joe Biden himself, but we were just thinking we need to save these white people from themselves. The problem with that is that
Yeah.
the poll, it was a poll release, I believe yesterday, that showed that over 50%, somewhere between 54 and 56% of white people support Donald Trump. So my thinking has always been, fuck these Trump supporters. That's really honestly has been my thinking. It's like, fuck them. They going if they want to, y'all want to be down with a bigot, be down with a bigot. I don't care. So
Yeah.
you're allowed to vote how you want to vote. Focus more on expanding the electorate, speaking to Black voters, like Black working class voters, Black rural voters, Black Midwesterners, as you and I are, John, because a lot of
Yes,
you listen to the media and you would swear that the only people who live in the Midwest are fucking white people. Black people
exactly.
actually live there too.
We live there too.
Yes, so focus on expanding the electorate, appealing to those voters, get the ones you have a much better chance. I mean, just think about this. Don't you have a much better chance of getting out the people who voted for Obama in 2012, who stayed home in 2016, than you do converting a Trump supporter? You probably
Yeah.
do. That's what I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't make any sense to vote in a way that you think white people will come around on this particular candidate because they wasn't coming around. And as much as
Yeah.
we keep trying to bang our head against the wall and make sense with people who don't make sense, let them people be. And they
Yeah.
just will have to come around eventually when it's time to come around, when it's a new president, hopefully.
Well, I would just complicate that slightly. I do believe absolutely that we need to make sure we motivate our core voters to show up, give them something to be excited about, give them a reason to vote, to feel like their vote's going to matter and their vote will actually make change happen. And for too long, I think we've just been tinkering around the edges and hoping that we just kind of stay normal. And I truly believe that with this COVID-19 crisis, it's exposing even more of the weaknesses of the underpinning of our American society. And we're seeing more reasons why we should be bold on reforming our healthcare system, more reasons why we should be bold on improving the safety net, and making sure that essential workers have a minimum wage, a living wage that reflects how essential they are. So all of these things that are being exposed by this crisis, I think should push us to be even more bold and progressive in the way we think about reimagining American society as we recover from this. I think this is a unique opportunity, and I truly believe that it's not enough for the Democratic Party to say we're the safe option, we're the return back to normalcy option. The Democrats should say, yes, Trump is an idiot, he's crazy, he's not normal in any way. But even before Trump, there were a lot of major issues in American society that are being exposed by this crisis. And we need to be bold and progressive in thinking about how we reshape the future for America and give people something to vote for, make them affirmatively choose to vote for you, not as a defense against someone else that's even more terrible, but as an actual choice that they are excited about because they know that it will come with real change. And so hopefully, I think what has happened is with Bernie, with Elizabeth Warren, with all these progressive candidates that got a lot of energy, got a lot of votes out there, I think Biden has been listening and he's aware of the fact that the party's moved to the left and he wants to be the leader of this diverse coalition. And I think he's going to move to the left, and he already has shown that he's going to. And I think we can still push him to do more. And and this crisis gives him the opportunity to justify it in a way that he may not have been able to justify it before.
He said before he will definitely pick a woman as a vice
Yes.
presidential candidate. How important do you think it is that that woman that he chooses be a woman of color, specifically a Black woman?
Well, I think two of the best candidates are Black women, Kamala Harris and Stacey Abrams. I personally love Stacey and have raised money for her Fair Fight organization. I love what she's doing since she lost the Georgia election. She hasn't been sulking. She's been out there working and organizing. And she's such a gifted political communicator. She's a great storyteller. I'm kind of partial to writers as presidents because I think I'm a
Same.
writer, but also you saw how great Obama was at communicating with people, and I think part of it was the fact that he was a writer. And I think Stacey communicates like a writer because she is one, and she's really able to weave a great story and a great narrative around great work that she's doing. I've fundraised for Kamala Harris for the Senate, and voted for her out here in California, and love her. And I think she's got a real commitment to justice and holding this administration accountable and oversight and doing the right things. And I think she would be a great vice presidential candidate too. I think the only other candidate that's not a woman of color, I think Elizabeth Warren would be really good as well. I wanted to vote for her for president. And I think she's just so good on the policy side, so thorough, so she understands possibly more than just about anybody out there how the government works and how to make it work for the people. And for someone like Biden, who doesn't seem super wonky and policy oriented, she could be a good offset for him when it comes to actually governing. I don't know which of them would be more valuable out there in the campaign. I think we overestimate the importance of vice presidents on the campaign, or vice presidential candidates on the campaign. But I think he should think about it in who will help me govern better. And I think all three of them would do a good job of helping me govern. But they have different strengths, I would say.
Look, you have an EGOT, and for people who don't know what that is, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar winner, and a Tony winner. You're sexiest man alive. You graduated magna cum laude, I believe, from Penn. When are you jumping into politics, John Legend? What's up? We're gonna have Senator Legend, Commissioner
No.
Legend, something.
I honestly like the way I'm involved in politics now, and I don't know that I'd ever want to run for office. I love being involved. I love influencing the conversation. I love using my platform to amplify leaders that I believe in. Excuse me, leaders that I believe in. But I don't feel like I need to run for office to do any of that, and I probably won't.
All right, we'll see. Maybe we can convince you. You and Chrissy would be a strong ticket. Before I play a little game with you and then get you out of here, I just want to get your thoughts on Bill Withers, who recently passed. You guys were friends, and I saw the collaboration, like a lot of people did, that you and Sam Smith did. A lot of us know him obviously through his music. Lean on Me, Ain't No Sunshine, so many classic anthems and hits. You knew him personally, so how will you remember Bill?
I think the coolest thing about him is he was a great storyteller. Even his emails were great storytelling. He would write through these long emails with different anecdotes in it and asides that completely get off topic but were so interesting. And he just put so much creativity and humor and thought into everything he wrote or he told you. He had such a rich life, so many different experiences. He was friends with so many other different artists and athletes and just people that we've all looked up to. I first met him after we had covered one of his songs, I Can't Write Left-Handed, on an album I did with The
I
Roots
love
called
that
Wake Up.
song with the Roots. Oh, I love that song.
Thank you, thank you. And we did a really cool version of it. We rocked it out. Captain Kirk did this epic solo, and it was really like electric. The version that we did of the song, and he heard about it through Bill Russell. So so he gets a call from Celtic legend Bill Russell, and Bill says, the Roots and John Legend just did an amazing version of your song. You should check it out. And he checked it out and he wrote me this long email explaining how he heard about the song, talking about the conversation he and Bill Russell had, and then telling me how much he appreciated us doing his song and what it meant to him that artists like us were still listening to him and carrying his music forward. And we became friends after that. We emailed a few times. I invited him to a few shows. He's been to my house for barbecues and parties. And we just, he's a funny person. He's a great storyteller. And you heard that human connection, that storytelling ability in his music. He was one of they talk about Bruce Springsteen as like a blue collar songwriter that represented a certain type of person in America. And I think for Black folks, Bill Withers was that kind of blue collar, everyman songwriter that wrote songs that everybody loved and appreciated. It was a lot of the lyric was very simple and it was told in a way that was really profound.